Hey, it's Nikki Thompson, and welcome to Tea with Nikki. I am so excited to have you joining me. I feel really honored that you're taking the time to listen in, and I do believe I can help you in this journey about embracing your sexual energy. So, this episode is all about why I created this podcast, why I've created kind of this body of work, and my story, a bit about who I am and what I've been up to for the past few years in creating and supporting women online and in their lives. So let's get into the first little bit. So I created this podcast because I have been on this journey. I have been in the space where I just feel exhausted, where I felt like I was living somebody else's life. It was, I felt as though I ticked everything off the list of all of the things the good girl should do. You know, I did really well at high school. I went straight to university and got a degree. I then went and traveled the world, did all of that stuff, went back and got a postgrad, got a good job, I got married, we bought the house, we had the children. And I remember just kind of often just feeling so disconnected from myself. I felt like this is somebody else's life. I felt like I was looking around and thinking, I have all of the things that I wanted in my life, but why am I not happy? And I felt this huge disconnection. And I think that disconnection starts at such a young age for women because we're often taught not to be too loud, not to argue, not to have too much of an opinion, to do as we're told. And especially when it comes to sex and sexuality, it's dirty. Like, don't touch yourself. Like, masturbation is never discussed. Connecting with our physical bodies and our bodies being a source of pleasure for us is so, the message is very shameful as we're growing up. And it continues as we're older because we don't have that role model of the sexy, empowered woman because quite often our mothers were the same. They were raised the same, if not more strict. And so we don't have any role model of a woman who's truly in touch with her sexual energy, who's truly connected with their physical bodies, who absolutely love their bodies. And so when we become a mother, and this is the same for women, like we go through different transitions, whether you've become a mother or not is not an issue, but I found that when I became a mother, all of my energy was now to be focused on my children, right? That's what mothers are for. They're there to take care of the family, and I felt like my needs were dropped to the bottom of the list, if it even made it to the list. And so this whole process of disconnecting with my physical body just kind of eventuated over my life to a point where I was thinking, what the fuck? Like, whose life is this? And it wasn't till I started exploring and thinking, no, you know what? I love my body. I started questioning my beliefs around sex and sexuality. And to be honest, it wasn't until I got divorced that this was like the big shake-up, the big transition for me that encouraged this huge shift in my life. So this podcast is all about sharing my journey, sharing my experience over the past few years that have helped me create this life that I fucking love. You know, and it's not that I didn't love elements of my life before, but now I love who I am. I feel so connected with who I am. And it's still a journey, I'm not going to lie. But I just feel like these are lessons that we are never taught. In fact, we're not only not taught them, we're completely discouraged to even question or learn them. And the messaging for women and for young girls is all about staying disconnected. It's like we don't, it's let's not empower women too much. And we've all got these rah-rah kind of personal development approaches, but it's very masculine. And I feel as though we're not, until we tap into that pleasure side of us, that's the feminine. The creative side of us, that's the feminine. I feel like until we truly connect with that, we're always going to have that bit of disconnection. And this podcast is going to be sharing those stories, sharing my story. I want to hear your story. And if you do have something you want to ask, or if you have a story you want to share on the podcast, get in touch with me. I'll put a link underneath the episode, or you can just email me or find me on social media. It's with Nikki Thompson. And my story is, I've shared a little bit of it already, but my story really is about knowing that there was more, knowing that there was something else. So I saw my mum on this discovery journey. She was looking for something else. She knew that the life she was living didn't have to be that way. She didn't quite find it, I felt. My mum and I weren't overly close. We were pretty close. She passed away when I was 22. And I feel like in that last year before she passed away, we became a lot closer. And she was on this journey as well. So I feel like part of me has taken on that journey. It's like, okay, question everything. Like some things are great that we are taught, but not everything. So what is it that I do want? What are the beliefs that I have that are stopping me from achieving that? What is success in life? And what are my beliefs around whose definition of success am I chasing? So I know for me, there was a huge kind of pressure, not pressure, but I felt as though I had to do a specific course at university. I felt like I had to be married before having children. I felt like I had to put everyone else's needs above mine once I became a mother. And I felt like I was not a good enough mother if I wasn't doing X, Y, and Z. Like there's a whole list of things. So over the past few years, I started questioning that. It's like, why do I have those beliefs? And whose life am I trying to create? Like, what's that definition of success that I am aiming for? And where did I get that from? So one of the areas for me that I started looking into was what is a successful body? We have these thoughts that, oh my God, I need to lose weight. Oh my God, I need, I've got this extra bit of skin here from a Caesar. I've got to get rid of that. Like tummy tuck, is that the answer? Maybe I should be doing that. I've got a bit of jiggle on the hips and the bum. Is that not successful? Like, whose definition of success am I chasing when it comes to my body? Who said I have to be a size 8 and have a totally firm, toned body? Who said that having the excess skin after a cesarean section is bad? Like, I grew a human, and that human had to come out. It couldn't come out the usual way. It came out through the skylight, whatever you want to call it. And so then there's this extra bit here. Yet it's kind of frowned upon, like there's tummy tucks and there's all these other options. But I have been chasing this definition of success that I hadn't even bothered to question. And so for me, I've redefined that. a successful body for me is one that can move freely, is one that has plenty of energy, is one that has a very clear mind, that can focus, can be creative, can connect with people, can connect with my children, can take care of people, and most of all, can take care of me. Because I know that when I'm taking care of myself, I have so much more to give. I'm such a nicer person to be around. I'm a way better mother if I've taken care of myself. So there's all these things, but most of all, I guess, for me, is that I truly appreciate that a successful body is one that gives me pleasure. And I'm not just talking about sex, but my whole body gives me pleasure. So there's element of creating it, be able to give myself an orgasm. Like that feels great. And then there's the time where I can truly listen to music and it just takes me back to an awesome time. Or I love salsa dancing. Salsa dancing is one of my passions. Being able to move my body like that with a partner or whoever it is, it just feels incredible. So there's all these parts that's what, for me anyway, is a successful body. So I hope that you have taken away an element to start to question what it is what is your definition of success, whether it's talking about a successful body, a successful relationship, a successful financial position, a successful career or business or dream or purpose, a successful family. Like, what does that look like for you? And start to question that, because often we feel like shit, or we don't feel like we're good enough because we're pitching ourselves against a definition of success that's not even our own, which is crazy, right? So I want you to think about what your definition of success is, or what beliefs are there that you need to question. And throughout this podcast, I'm going to be banging on about this because it's such a key element into embracing your sexual energy, is because if we have all these blocks and beliefs there, we're never going to be able to truly embrace it. And so that's my hope for you. Now, I do have a free workshop you can go and check out. It's talking all about embracing your sexual energy. You can check it out, nikkithompson.com. So if you just NICKYTHOMPSON.com, go there and check out the free workshop tab, and you'll be able to listen to that straight away and learn exactly what it is that I share my tips on how you can start to embrace your sexual energy. So I really hope you enjoy that as well. And I will see you in the next episode. Don't forget, this is a weekly podcast, and subscribe as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this podcast. You can also review it on wherever you're listening right now. And I can't wait to chat to you again next week. Bye.